Good afternoon and a happy Mashujaa Day to all of us. I'm Joseph Owino Oguk, a final year student here at Mary University of Science and Technology. Let me start by congratulating the new government for the election and actually for the good commencement of their job. Our country has been experiencing a lot of challenges when it comes to the fight against corruption, and that is the reason to us why I, together with a few of us, we actually formed a certain group where we actually discussed and examined actually to find out the roots of corruption in Kenya. We will request that whatever will be discussed or whatever I'll be presenting from this kind of a speech will be actually be implemented by the current government in office and also to be implemented by even other bodies, including the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority. So corruption has been actually the greatest hindrance to Kenyan economic growth for decades now. Many corruption cases are still lying in our courts pending investigation. The leadership of our country has been changing with no improvement when it comes to the fight against corruption. I took my time and critically examined this problem to actually find out the roots of it and give some recommendations to the new government of His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto on how to curb this problem from its roots. There have been cases whereby county governments and some government entities have been paying ghost suppliers. This has been violating the Kenyan citizens' right of having access to quality services at the public institutions. For instance, in hospitals and dispensaries where citizens are forced to buy medicine from chemists. I think this one you have actually experienced, and actually you've been hearing such kind of cases from different parts of the country. Why do you pay suppliers for services not offered or products not supplied? These are big questions that you're actually asking the county government and even some of the public institutions within our country. In such cases, the government, in conjunction with the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, should ensure the procurement function in various entities on these institutions is managed by procurement professional. I call upon the Kenyan judiciary to ensure that the laws are followed to the letter. And this one we are actually referring to the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. If you can recall, most of these institutions are having even people from other professions working in the procurement department, which is actually against our law. We are calling upon the PPRA to ensure that all the procurement functions in all the public institutions to be managed or run by trained procurement professionals. During my examination on this problem, I found out that issues of non-disclosure of interest in tendering processes is very high. Many accounting officers in various entities tend to influence the decisions made within the procurement processes. In most cases, they are the people who tend to determine who is and who is not to be given the tenders, which is actually a great offense under the Public Procurement Disposal Act of 2015. This issue is common in the counties where the procurement officer's functions are under the influence of the county leadership. I call upon again the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority to perform its role as depicted in the PADA of 2015 in Chapter 1, Section 9. The Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, in conjunction with the Public Procurement Regulatory Board, should ensure that any complaint registered by any supplier is resolved as fast as possible to ensure transparency within the procurement processes. The white elephants projects are increasing in this country. When I talk about the white elephant projects, these are just those projects which are actually commenced but have not been completed for years now. Why are we seeing uncompleted projects just abandoned in some areas? The law is very clear that no procurement process should be initiated prior to affirmation of funds availability. The accounting officers should be held responsible in such cases. They are supposed to ensure that any project taken is within the plan and budget as stipulated in the Public Procurement Disposal Act of 2015 and also in the Public Finance Management Act of 2015. Improper disposal of government entities' vehicles has also been of great concern to me. In my view, there is someone somewhere who is definitely benefiting from such events. There is need for this body, the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, to ensure there is effective implementation of the disposal procedures as set out in the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. Procurement systems in the country, in my view, is what turns to be the root cause of corruption in Kenya. This is only due to the improper implementation of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. I demand that the procurement functions in the government entities and institutions to be managed, and we insist on this. We demand that procurement functions in the government entities and institutions to be managed by trained procurement professionals. I hope with this move, the new government will be able to curb misuse of public resources. The Public Procurement Regulatory Authority should also give adequate protection to the procurement practitioners against the evil action of the accounting officers and even from the county leadership. So those are the people in the committees, even the governors themselves. So that was what we found out, and we all request the new government to actually help us in conjunction with the Kenyan judiciary to ensure that the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority do its work, and also to ensure that the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015 and its regulations are implemented to the latter. Thank you.